13th, Thursday, 2025, trading futures. So I should find a more rhythmic way to start these, but I don't know. Again, I'm recording for dexterity. I'm recording for myself really, so I can keep track of my progress through my trading journey. So I'm a nurse practitioner. I work during the night, and so I still try to trade during the day. And I trade futures, specifically NAS and SPY, interchangeably depending on what the market presents. And today was after 2 weeks of a dry trading spell for myself. I feel like today was good. So coming into the market, I'm always looking for my daily bias, and my daily bias was bullish. Usually, I try to use the daily candles to kind of determine that, but also I just look for liquidity sweep to help me determine what my bias is. I don't care necessarily what the bias is for the day. I'm only caring about what the bias that I'm particularly looking for, because the market always reverses. It can give you a bearish, presentation, for some minutes, and then it can reverse and go bullish. So it just depends on what I'm looking for. So for me, um, when I'm looking at the charts for these two, I compare them both because they work side by side, and I like to look to see if I have any divergence that would support my theory about what my bias is. Because I work nights, I tend to mark my chart as I go, and I mark my Asian session here. Hold on, this is not lined up. So this is, oh yeah, put in the 1 hour. There we go. I like to mark up my session. So this is the Asian session for both. This is London session. Pre-market has been between here, and then you've got New York market. So I trade the New York session only. I mark everywhere, and I just kind of trade New York specifically because of the volume. Looking at the Asian market, it did what it does, and London market didn't sweep until pre-market. London market actually took out the Asian low down here. So when I drop into the 5 minute, I also look for SMT divergence to see if the market's going to show me that it's going to go in my favor. So basically, when I see that the market goes in this New York time, it passes this Asian low. Um, it passes this Asian low. I'm prepared for the market to go bullish because it has taken out or swept under or whatever liquidity has taken place on these key time frames. So in my mind, this is a manipulation, and I'm expecting reversal and movement up at some point. So that's what I prepare for when the market opens at 9:30. I don't do anything about it in the pre-market. I just look. In the pre-market, I also look for liquidity, and this was my liquidity, and I marked it. So because I already said my bias was going to be bullish, I look for liquidity to the downside to basically do a fake out for reversal up. And then I look for SMT divergences as well, bullish SMT divergence. And here I kind of have one. On the NASDAQ, I have like a higher low here, but on the SPY, I kind of have equal highs. In my mind, let's see, equal lows. This was already, because of its slant and this being a higher low, my expectation was bullish. This supports it, but I also went with NASDAQ as the leading index versus SPY. I'm not a fan of going for NASDAQ because the volatility is just too wild, and it takes forever to like get its point across in my mind. So SPY is more of a smoother move, but I still honored my bias and my strategy of following the leading index here. So basically, we're going through the day. Pre-market hits at 8:30, and I have this liquidity move here. Like, oh, okay. I see that the candle is kind of moved underneath this key level here. It's going to be a little bit of a fake out, so we prepare ourselves for a bullish move. Market opens, and I just kind of expect that, hey, the market's going to do what it does. In my true, I guess, I don't know if this is technical analysis, in my head, market would have taken out what was closer to it, maybe come down a little bit and then gone up. But truly, just as yesterday's bearish run, it kind of followed suit of the bearish run. I wasn't really expecting it to have this, what, almost 200 handle move, but it basically did before it started reversing upward. I thought that was quite wild. But I waited for my entry. I didn't reverse my bias. I kept to the bullish and I just waited. So the way I entered was, I think I went down to the 1 minute. I think maybe even on the 5 minute, I created fair value gaps. That's kind of what I play by. I have a fair value gap here. I was waiting for it to be inversed, which it was here. I go back down to the 1 minute because as a day trader, I try to look for a little bit more precision. That makes things easier for me. So, right. So we're still bearish here. I made a fair value gap. It was not inversed yet. And then we hit the significant low. I expected it to kind of take this out, but it didn't. But once we had hit this candle here, I figured, okay, we're probably going to be bullish at this point. So now I'm looking on the 1 minute. I'm looking for a fair value gap. And I hit one here. So this is a fair value gap here that got respected. But it got respected perfectly, but I actually got in earlier. This is where I got in to my trade. Being that NASDAQ is so volatile, I put my stop underneath the last swing low. And I usually make it a thicker line so that I know what's up. And I guess I didn't do that. I make this a thicker line so I know where I'm looking for. If my, drawdown touches this, then I'm definitely out. That's my stop for myself. But yeah, so when it made this high here, I drew this equilibrium. And in drawing this equilibrium, I have this touch into the discounted space. So perfectly touched it, and I thought, okay, we're going to continue bullish. So I didn't really worry. So, wait, did I do that? Oh, yeah, I had done that, drawn this, and sorry, I'm backwards. Price moved up, created this high here, this low. I do my equilibrium. I saw this touched in. That gave me the okay to go in. I entered in 5 contracts on the MNQ, had this nice retracement, but again, it honored this equilibrium. Went up. My first take profit was here. I took out 3 contracts and I let it trail up here, and I got out completely actually I got out here. Seeing this large candle was like, yup, definitely want to get out, and glad I did. And so basically my profit was 672. This was across all this is across 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts there. And then my trade logger, I don't know how to show what I made today, but really it was just 300 something. I don't know. I'm still learning this particular whatever. So anyways, yeah, I feel like after a couple weeks, I have a good trade here. It's not because it was profitable, but because it really did meet all my marks. I didn't do anything different with this trade than I had done with my previous ones. I stuck to my bias. One, I got in exactly what I know to get in at, which was fair value gap being respected, equilibrium being respected. I actually got in, let's see, I got in during macro, so 952, which is also part of my strategy for the most part. And I wasn't greedy. I got out, I had hit my take profit 1, 2, 3 pretty much. Well, not 4, but I'm cool. I got out, and yeah, good trade. What could I have done differently? Honestly, I think this was a good trade. I actually prayed before I before I got in. And it wasn't because of the trade. I just prayed because I needed to pray, and I think my head was more leveled. Being that I worked a 12, 13-hour shift last night, maybe sometimes in the morning, I don't really think well enough, but I was aligned this morning and way more focused, which is interesting because I got no sleep at all last night at work. But either way, good trade. I appreciated this, and hope to keep it up.